Our title sponsor, once again, Guthrie Cortland Medical Center, supporting us in so many ways for so many years. These past few years, I think you may have a little inkling of how challenging it's been for them, but I'm so thankful that they're here in our community taking care of us and for us to be able to lean on them. Cayuga Medical Center is actually our longest standing sponsor of this dinner. We appreciate all their support, and not only at this, but at many other events too. Tompkins Community Bank, your dessert sponsor tonight, and I hope Greg Hart's enjoyed those desserts during first served. And Greg's leaving us in the spring to retire and do on some nice fun challenges, I hope. And it's been fun to have your support. We'll miss you, but we will have support. We'll continue. CFCU Community Credit Union, I think their support for many organizations goes unmatched. They do so much for us and others. You see their name. There's already been a little bit of fun talked about with Searles because they sponsor the toilets at every one of our major events. And their team, Brian Harris, the team, and their key employee, Ryan, want you to know that wherever and whenever you need them, we're going to be there for you. Cortland Hearing Aids, they also sponsor many of our events, and in fact, I was joking. I was talking to their vice president of marketing earlier today and said maybe we'll turn them into the I Can Hear You Now sponsor. They do so many good things for us, and I understand we were just honored again nationally with another award, which is not surprising for those of us that know you and have a chance to work with you. And Vision's Federal Credit Union just opened up a brand new branch here in Cortland to serve the members that we already had here. They hosted our business after hours last month, have stepped up to do a ton of this community already. And then I also want to give a special thank you to our board of directors. This group that you have represents you as a membership extremely well. Their leadership, I think, is second to none. We appreciate the ability to work with them. They do their jobs, and they do their jobs very well. And to talk about changes, I want to share with you a little bit of what's happened with your chamber team since we last met here a year ago. Longtime team members Debbie Thayer and Nikki Davey moved on to other challenges this past spring. Nikki to focus on her real estate career and the wonderful foundation that she began, Little Tags. This is to honor her brother's life. If you've not had a chance to hear about Little Tags, Nikki, wave your arm. Nikki would be happy to tell you about what she's doing. She'd be very proud. I know her brother smiles at what she's doing. And Debbie here. Debbie. Look at my eyesight. Debbie was my partner here at the chamber for 12 and a half years, and honestly, we wouldn't be where we are today as a chamber without the work that she did. She thought of members in everything that we did, especially focusing on our small businesses. She now runs the office at Contento's, and I'm sure that the Contento team knows that. I know they're in good hands. Their growth has been tremendous, and they will be in good hands for a long time because of that. It means a lot to me, not only that they're both here with us tonight, but they brought an entire team with them. Thank you both for all that you've done. When those who moved on, of course, it was a little sad to have them go, but I would be their cheerleaders forever and hope they're going to continue to support us. But then there were two very unexpected good things that happened here at the chamber. First, Jennifer Remnick, who's up here running our IT for us tonight. Jennifer took on a lot of the duties that both Nikki and Debbie had taken care of in the past and has done extremely well. She is now your manager of communications and marketing. Recently I said to Jennifer, seeing how well she is growing in this new role of hers leads me to know that in the past I think we were holding her back, and now that the reins are off and she can take it and run, she's doing great things, and I know we'll see a lot more from her. And then, this was fascinating to me. I get word that this very well-respected professional, Heather Weinberg, after 19 years at J.M. Murray and a ton of awesome connections all around town, might be considering change. After multiple conversations and I know much soul searching on her part, she took the leap and joined our team. Heather is now your Director of Events and Finance, has already done tremendous things in 5 months on the job. Heather loves to keep one step ahead of everything. She's very well organized. She tells us all the time what she needs and when she needs it. In fact, she wanted me to make sure that you know that the showcase will be April 15th, 2023. I'm pretty sure she'll have registration papers at the door for you to do. I loved our team before, and I love our team now. It's been a pleasure to work with them and with all of you as members. Hopefully we'll be adding another new team member soon and we'll all get to use. A quick update on the strategic plan that we kicked off at the beginning of this year. We focus our work in 6 causes that kind of guide what we do in our daily lives. Workforce development, childcare, local referrals and recognition, diversity and inclusion, being a small business resource center and promoting our Cortland area. As a little advertisement, 2 of those causes will be featured at the Business After Hours on next Wednesday afternoon, 5 to 7. We will be hosting both by Access to Independence and Person-to-Person Advocacy. And we are going to have in that room experts on employing people with disabilities. So we've already contacted some of them. They will be there to talk to you. So if you as an employer just want to have a casual conversation on what that means, what does it mean to have a reasonable accommodation, where do I find people that will be, the retention rates, by the way, are 7 times greater than a person without a disability. So if you want to learn more about that, our next after hours is the place. The way we focus our action teams versus previously having standing committees is going to accomplish much more in a shorter period of time. Our post-COVID changes will continue, and we look for some changes to Business After Hours for 2023. We, in our annual survey that you'll be seeing between now and the end of the year, there will be some questions about that, so I would encourage you to take the time and fill that out. And next, what a gorgeous venue we are in. Thank you, Kim. You know, John from Great Peaks spoke very well, but I'm thankful that we could bring you here on this brand new showcase what it is. If you've not taken a walk behind me, please do so. The bathrooms are beautiful. There are changing rooms here, so if this was to be a wedding venue for you, we're all set up perfectly for that. I happen to be here for the YW Chefs Take a Stand event just 3 weeks ago tonight, and that was an absolutely beautiful event. Very different feel than what we had. It's my first sit down dinner. Thrilled to be able to do that. For those of you who have been with us before, I sure appreciate having me back. And for those that are new, first timers, thank you for being with us. And you're going to find out soon why this is my favorite chamber night of the year. My theme tonight was It's All New. We've got a new chamber team. We're in a brand new venue. The city of Cortland is undergoing a rebirth. And we're going to honor some great new accomplishments for these folks that you're going to be learning about. So we'll start with the business of the year. Homegrown businesses, I've said this before, I'll hopefully continue to be able to say that. We love them at the Chamber. Homegrown businesses are our bread and butter. Tonight we get to honor 2 of them. Interestingly enough, our first winner had 2 separate nominations coming in from 2 different sources. Many of you know we try to keep winners secret as long as possible. I'm not sure that I can do that very long in my description tonight. The winner, I believe, doesn't know yet, but she began her small business with a passion for kids, her community, for teaching, and for dance. I'm not sure in what order, but she's pretty darn good at all of those. Here's the growth she's seen. At the end of her first year in business, she had 63 students. By year 4, it blew past 170. I'm not sure where we stand today in year 7. That's a new 26 separate classes and counting. I can't say it any better than this testimonial that I'm going to read to you by a very happy grandma. dread going to them. My granddaughter dances and it makes her happy, and that's why we drive 2 hours one way to watch her. Recently, she joined this dance studio. I'm the one normally that sits in the audience staring at my watch to see how much longer the show is going to last. Let me tell you, I was not that grandma coming here for this first recital. I was on the edge of my seat for the entire show. The teacher has a passion for dance, and you can tell by the show she created. The creativity of this show was outstanding. I sat through the entire show, including a short intermission, and when it was over, it was too soon. No parents left. They all sang for the entire show. I had never met this winner in person, but when my granddaughter talks about her, she says it with a smile on her face that goes from ear to ear. I've also noticed a change in my granddaughter. Her confidence has grown, and it's because of these dance classes. This winner believes in her students and believes in their work. Children need this. Not only are reviewers saying this about the dance studio, that the winner also finds time to participate in local fundraising, sponsoring the Homer Elementary Walkathon, providing rides for students to get to her class, endlessly supports other local causes, including your Chamber of Commerce. Another dancer's mom shared this with me. My daughter tried every sport, and it wasn't until she was 10 and met this dance instructor that she finally found her passion. To announce the winner to you, I'll take another testimonial quote that says it better than I can. I hope the Village of Homer knows what a treasure they have with Signature Dance Studio in Miss May, and I only expect bigger and brighter things from them in the future. Please join me in celebrating with the 2022 Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year Signature Dance Studio. Will Meg let us come up and accept the award? And Meg, I hope you put this in your calendar already. You heard the showcase is April 15th. Her students do a recital at our showcase that is just awesome. They kick off the floor. They bring a ton of people to us because everyone loves to see those things. And our second business of the year. They started small, continue to grow, and now inside and outside our community. Back in 2006, two entrepreneurs looked at Cortland social and entertainment venues and asked themselves, where can a business person, a student, a parent, a working person, and a traveler all gather at the same time and feel comfortable in the same place? The answer they gave themselves was nowhere. They needed a new concept for an old tavern formula. A social hub to address all groups' wants, offering a relaxed atmosphere, friendly service, reasonable prices, in our downtown. They wanted a place where local artists could come perform at no cost to the customers. A place where we could provide safe travels that customers could return home safely after a stay there. A place where people would all feel like family, where free food Fridays could exist. They bought a dilapidated, vacant, historic building with lots of hard work and some public assistance, brought the building back to life. The dream was becoming a reality. In the past 16 years, because the majority of their workforce is part-time. They have employed over 1,400 people. Can you imagine that, a small business owner, 1,400 employees? Locals and college kids both employed with one thing in common: they all feel part of that family. The owners don't hesitate to host events at their own homes for the employees, as well as appreciation times at work. The employees feel the love and know that they're family. They go on after graduation and post pictures of themselves all over the country and the world wearing the logo from this family location where they work in our town. Free Food Fridays not only provide that family atmosphere for employees, but they also purchase those items from a minimum of 10 local restaurants who supply. They also purchase local apparel for students, staff, family, friends, and us. The business supports many local causes, from student fundraisers to teacher appreciation events to benefits for cancer research. In short, they don't turn down an opportunity to give back to the community. Starting in 2014, they sponsored an annual head shaving event where shavies solicit donations to fund cooperative research in partnership with St. Paul Vic's Foundation to conquer childhood cancer. They've raised over $15,000 a year towards this single event. When you talk to the owners about the event, they don't talk about the event to call attention to the small business, but they do it to call attention to childhood cancer. Not only are they a local landmark in our community, but they have taken a proven concept and expanded it to Union, Rockport, and Bennington. They're welcomed in each community as solid, responsible community members. They've continued to transform historic, dilapidated buildings into profitable businesses and continue to support the communities where they live. It gives me great pleasure to present a Business of the Year award to the Red Jug Pub, supporting the Jug.
Oh, wait. Oh, my God. Thanks a lot, Bob. You keep a great secret. Thanks a lot, Glove. You keep a better secret. Mr. Reagan today indicated to me that I had to attend, and I was not unhappy about that, except that I was on the golf course. I was very happy. My partner, Aaron Gray. Halfway through your introduction, I thought to myself, wow, I can't wait to go to this place. This place is awesome. What are you talking about? Free food on Fridays provided by local venues. They support charity. Free ride home. And 4 locations throughout the state. I kid, but I don't kid, because this is something that we believe in, and that is the community that is Cortland and Cortland County. You folks live in a fantastic place. You live in one of the best places in the world. And believe me, when the next hurricane comes and your family says, I'm so glad you live in Cortland, you know why. And it's really because it's a composite and a whole aggregation of ourselves, right? That's what it is. I look around here and I know that you folks are the reason that we are here, if you support us in one way or the other. Now, to be clear, and to be absolutely clear, when it comes to the 16 years of success that we've had, and we've had a success that I never thought would happen, it's because of our people. And that number of 1,400 folks that we've employed is everybody that is a part of our family, and I mean that. to the bottom of my soul, I mean that. Those folks have worked their brains out, mostly because we make them, but also because they get paid, and also because they want to please you as customers. The truth is, and if you folks don't know this, many do, that this is the guy that runs the Red Jug in Cortland. And he fucking kills it. And I mean that. And we would be the first to say to you that without Paul John Frigo, Paul, would you please stand up? That's PJ. That guy is staying on my feet. We go beyond that a little bit because we have a support network that means more to us than many of our businesses. We give it all away tomorrow if it meant to help our families. So Aaron, Ryan, Gray, Gavin, the best. Shannon Birch DeWilliger, love you. Asa and Maud, my kids, Gavin's Mr. Grace. Folks, we are 4 places, 160 people strong that work with us, not for us. They are the fabric of our community, and we just can't thank you enough. Hey, a couple more things. Here I am. I got married right down there 20 years ago. Well, 420 years ago. It's a weird number, I know. But right down there, we got married. And I gotta tell you, this venue is awesome. Thank you to the Chamber. Thanks to Bob. Thanks to all you folks. Thank you so much.
You're getting a little feeling on why I like this night so much. Next we have our Heritage Award. This award is intended for a business or organization with long-standing history in our community, sometimes multiple generations, often decades of service. This year's winner, of course, exceptionally qualified. In fact, when the selection committee saw this nomination, the discussion was extremely short. Tonight's winner began operations in 1922. That's right, 100 years serving us. When the current owners took over the history-filled business in 1997, they didn't attempt to make widespread changes. Instead, they embraced the history and showcased it well today on their website. Think about how much has changed since 1922, and in their line of work, there was no shortage of new developments, new risks to conquer, and totally new businesses to apply these services to. While the owners are literally family, they sure make the rest of their team feel that way too, and even their customers show their love as they talk about the business and working with them. Reading some reviews, here are the quotes I saw. Helpful and friendly, high integrity, full service, very prompt, staff going above and beyond, finding less expensive rates, nice people, wonderful staff, they work with you. Another thing I noticed is that the owners responded to every comment. Their rating averages 4.8 stars with no rating below 4. I think we would all dream to have those types of ratings. On another site, I found this quote. I reached out to this winner for a quote, and she not only saved my family over $100 a month, she was fast, friendly, extremely helpful during the process. And the funny part was, in response to that response, was a friend of that person who simply said, I told you. I love it when viewers make my job easier to gather this information, but I want to talk about them a little bit personally. There are community people involved. You can listen to this list: Rotary, Crown City Toastmasters, Homer Business Association, Lime Hollow, Knights of Columbus, Cortland Repertoire Theater, the Cortland Fitness Club, the 1890 House, several local churches, and of course, your chamber. Together, they even helped fund the HBA and have been a driving force of its success. I dare say if they were in our chamber office with the variety of calls that we get on a daily basis, they would be fine handling those calls. It's business like this that make our jobs so rewarding and fulfilling. Listen to these quotes from the owners themselves. I want your experience to be the very best possible, and I'll do everything in my power to make that happen. From quote to claim, every one of our clients deserves respect, genuine concern, and service with a smile. And lastly, as an owner of the agency, I make my own phone number available for our clients to file claims during non-business hours. I'll say no more. Please help me in congratulating our 2022 Heritage Award winner, Benson Davis Insurance.
Thank you, Bob. And so we're really riding on the coattails because we've only been doing this approximately 25 years. So really the people that founded the agency were Lester Davis and his son, Rich, took over, and his wife. And I have a lot of fond memories of engaging with Rich and Jan Davis. And then really, Lee Benson was the guy that got it all started with the vision. So we bought the small existing agency in 1997. And Lee basically worked in insurance for most of his career. And he was able to get in some very good insurance companies, which made it very easy for us to grow. And I'm a numbers guy, but what I really like the best about the businesses are just working with people, and what a blessing it is to have relationships with so many people over the years. And it's, so you talk about how much things have changed over that time, but he's actually still driving the same car. Thank you, and it's a privilege to be part of this.
I just want to say those comments were about our wonderful staff. Linda and Marjorie, they do a marvelous job. I try to stay in the back, and I listen to them, and they're the ones that do the wonderful job for us. So it's really our wonderful staff.
In January, I start my 49th year in insurance. I worked over the years for 3 different companies, and as Matt said, in April '97, we bought a small agency and moved it up to where it is today. And all the success of it is just having beautiful people in this county to serve. I just couldn't imagine being in another county as wonderful as the Cortland area. So, and our success is all due to you wonderful people. Thank you.
Moving on next to our Young Professionals Award. We're in the 9th year of this award. Time flies, doesn't it? And it's designed to recognize a person of the up-and-coming generation for the great work they're doing, and of course let them know that we expect wonderful things out of them in their career. Right at dinner, we're talking about 3 former winners of this award who now serve on our board of directors, which is pretty special for us. This individual, after graduating from high school, they went on to receive a bachelor's and a master's degree. After the time away, they did what we hope all of our young people will do. They came home. They had a family business to come to, a business we all know, but being a great employee wouldn't satisfy them. I'm sure the family knew, but it was also evident to the other employees that this young person was a leader capable of great things. They did what we tell young people to do. They worked hard, came in on time, do what they're told, and they were problem solvers. The nominator stated, "This is an exceptional young person that had a vision, accomplished the goals from that vision, and continues to grow every day, all while still under 30 years old. Most that age are just settling down from college," and she gave a laugh. "Look out for what they may accomplish by the time they're 40. Soon they will move up to executive vice president of the family business, but it doesn't stop there. You see, the dream was a separate business, one that would add to the value of the current business, but go above and beyond what had been accomplished already. They saw an unmet need in Central New York, one that would improve the environment, be profitable, be sustainable, and it just makes common sense. It was 2017 that the dream of Central New York's first construction and demolition debris recycling center would become reality. That business continues to grow today with no end in sight. That accomplishment didn't change our winner. They work the office, but are also active participants in all the hands-on work. In fact, our nominator told me, "Most would think they're just one of the guys. Humble attitude, doesn't let on that they're actually the owner of a very successful up-and-coming business, creating jobs while at the same time setting sustainable practices to minimize waste and encourage reuse." There it is, a go-getter with a vision. While his father is still active in the business, it's also evident that our winner is the key person to daily operations. And dare I say, maybe Dad will be retiring to chair of the board soon, if that hasn't already happened. While operating multiple businesses at their location, he still finds time to contribute to Cortland reuse by sitting on their board. And as a demonstration of his versatility, not only was he an accomplished high school and college lacrosse player, but he coached a local club team that had the opportunity to play at Lake Placid. When you have a chance to meet this winner, you can't help but like him. Humble, a team player, willing to roll up his sleeves, get to work, and showing leadership beyond his years. It's my great pleasure to present the Chamber of Commerce Young Professional Award to Anthony Contento.
Thank you, I really appreciate it. Not sure about all the other recipients, but they were actually totally shocked by this as I was. But it's always nice to get some recognition for some accomplishments, and mine least of all compared to a lot of the other recipients tonight. But much like the rest of them, I have a lot of other people to thank for what little success I've got accumulated already. So, others, our team is here tonight, and I want to thank them all for this. And I have a hunch I know who put you up to this, Bob, but I just really appreciate the recognition, and wouldn't be here today without my father Jerry, of course, and my grandfather Gerald Sr. Not everybody is fortunate as me to have a wonderful start in order to expand upon, and hopefully a lot more big things coming in the future for our team that seems to be growing every day as much as we can. And it's really been fortunate the last few years for us. A lot of growth, a lot of new things, and I'm just very grateful to receive this. So thank you, everybody.
Moving on to our Community Service Award. Kathy Cabo was our definition of community service, and while we miss Kathy, we continue to honor her by presenting this award in her name each year. The winner's name will join Kathy and every winner since 2005 on this plaque that hangs in the Halls conference room in our offices. Not only is this my favorite chamber evening, but I especially love this award. I have the pleasure of researching our winners, learning about all the things they do for our community, most of the time without any self-recognition in mind. And this winner is a perfect example. I'm not sure exactly how long I've known him, but I think it may have been before I even took this job. Thinking about him, his family, his career, his love of our community, it all brings a smile to my face. A local man, born and raised here, stated to have his own family here. Salt of the earth, a term that I reserve for those that I respect the most. Now, if you talk to most people about that term, they'll tell you that it is used to describe good, honest, humble people. And I mean that, but I mean more when I say it. To me, it's the person I have a coffee or a beer with, whose opinion I appreciate, who's a joy to spend time with, someone I would trust my children with, and when they speak, I listen. Our winner tonight is all of that. Just listen to this list of organizations he's given his time to. Center for the Arts, Cortland Memorial Foundation, Tompkins Cortland Community College Foundation, Southworth Library, Rotary, J. McDonald Sports Complex, Cortland County IDA Cooperative Extension, Preble Town Board. I'm sure that I've missed some in that list. His mentor states, he has an unwavering commitment to the local community and surrounding areas. He generously donates his time by serving on boards and participating in events. He's a firm believer in small business and knows by keeping business local, the community will be stronger. He takes the time to mentor young professionals while still giving up his time and expects nothing in return. Recently, I actually had the opportunity to speak with him in our offices, and I recall him talking about how through the bank where he's employed, he was able to do even more for our community and our neighbors. It seems his new role was a perfect match both for him and for the bank. He spoke at our recent business after hours, and what got him choked up wasn't talking about the 120 years that they've been in business, but was the fact that he works with such a devoted team, his second family. And while you can take a farmer off the farm, you can never take the farmer out of him. I know that's another reason why I like him so darn much. Good friend, farmer extraordinaire, wonderful family man, exceptionally community-minded, and a pretty darn good bank president. The 2022 Kathy Cotterill Community Service Award is presented with our heartfelt appreciation to Clint Brooks.
Well, thank you, certainly, Chamber and everyone here. And yes, it's certainly been a long road from the farm to the bank. But great to have my staff there with me tonight to see this. And thank you very much for all your hard work every day at the bank. In Cortland, you can't ask for a better community. I think all of the award winners here tonight certainly show how great a community Cortland really is. And it's a pleasure to be part of it. Thank you.
So we have one award left, and we normally have our Kathy Cotterill Award at the end of the evening, but I knew that if he read this nomination, would be in agreement that we needed to move our nonprofit award to this time. This nomination was very unusual. I smiled when I read it, and when I gave it to the selection committee, they smiled too. Unusual in a way that these organizations were nominated, but the committee loved it, the timing was perfect. So here goes. No industry or organization went unaffected by COVID. We all know that. We've already heard from Guthrie, and Cayuga Medical is here with us too. Where would we be without them? But this award goes to another group of unsung heroes. In a normal year, they bless us with what they do. These past 2.5 years, they reworked everything and they did it for us. March of 2021. Won't that time frame forever be in your brains? Businesses closing, but that's also when our classrooms closed. I'm not sure we realized how much we needed our schools until we didn't have them. In addition to the academic development and enrichment they offer to children, they're the linchpins of a childcare system that allows parents and especially moms to be in our workforce. They feed our children, they offer mental health counseling, medical care, identify cases of child abuse, and provide a social interaction environment for those kids. I had a chance to speak with school administration teams the most and understand the frustration and struggles that they went through. They're in their positions to improve educational outcomes, but have spent much of that time focusing on the health of our students, their staff, and our community. Let me point out some of what I've seen and heard with my own eyes and ears from some of the non-administrative staff that impresses me, the ones that might not always hear these accolades. Food service workers standing outside all kinds of weather so they could deliver food to driving up cars so those kids could have healthy meals. My own daughter's first grade teacher, who while she had COVID never took a day off, virtually taught her class every day until she and the students could return. Teachers who would reteach lessons in the evening because students were sharing computers and didn't always have access to them when the lesson was going on. Bus drivers who would deliver hotspots out in the community where there wasn't good internet access. Counselors taking calls from parents day after day in tears, just trying to navigate and juggle work, school, and life during the pandemic. And I'm sure there are so many more, and folks in this room would have those examples too. They knew how much we needed them, how much our kids needed them, so they pushed to come back, and in September of 2020, reopened their schools. So much anxiety and unknowns, but they took on the responsibility of not only teaching those kids, but keeping them safe, even if they had to do it from 6 feet away. Let me quote our nominator. Because of our schools and their employees, someone out there is a better thinker. Someone is standing a little taller because she found the confidence she needed. People are kinder because they showed us what that means. Their strength and resilience, their creativity and kindness changes lives like never before during the pandemic. Our community students and families needed champions, and we found them in our school workers. We owe them a great debt for being the heroes we needed. We nominate the Cortland Chamber member schools to be the champions of 2022 and thank them for all they did and will continue to do. We have tonight representatives from here from Cincinnati Central, Cortland Alternative School, Cortland Christian Academy, Cortland Enlarged City School, George Junior Republic, Groton Central, Homer Central, Lafayette Central, OCM BOCES, Seven Valleys New Tech Academy, and St. Mary's School. And I'd ask at least one rep from each of those schools to come on.
Well, thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege to be amongst so many amazing educators and school district leaders. There's 2 school districts up there that I've worked for, Groton and Homer. And I know what Groton did, where my children attended this year, and the sacrifices Groton educators made for my children, and I thank you. And now that I work for Homer, I know the time, energy, attention, and effort that Tom and the team at Homer gave the Homer community and everyone along the line here. So it was an honor and pleasure to serve your children then, now, and in the future. Thank you.
Well, I think you see what I mean when I said that was a bit unusual, and when we read that, and the wonderful case they put together, and honestly, that nomination came in not to recognize a school, but to recognize them all. And I want to